Back for another Transformers review. This is going to be a little bit of a different review. This is going to be a sort of comparison slash review on two really nice figures with the same design but with different colors released in two different lines. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Classics and Henkei Megatron. But before we can talk a little bit about these toys in general, we're going to talk a little bit about the backstory regarding this one toy. Now, during 2006, when the Cybertron line was still going and ending at the same time, the Classics line came along and reinvented the whole concept of some of the toys from G1 and gave them new different forms as well as gave them better alt modes. But Megatron, as we already know and as we will always know, was, and forever will be a gun in his alt mode. Because throughout the lifespan of his entire being as a character, as a famous character in Transformers, Megatron's toy has always been something very different. So it's great to see him as a gun again. And the one interesting thing about it as well is that this gun, of course, with the same design and with two different colors, they both stand out very well in the Classics line and the Henkei line. And another thing as well is that aside from just looking like really cool toys, they do actually hold a lot more than just being a reinventing of the concept of Megatron being a gun. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at both toys and see the differences between the both of them, because there are quite a lot of differences. We're going to take a look at them from the side. So here we have both Megatrons in their gun modes, and they're really nice guns. Basically, the gun modes for these toys are inspired from the Nerve guns, which are basically guns that air guns that shoot darts, which a lot of children use them to just inflict a lot of pain, even though darts don't really cause any pain when they're made of mainly foam. But anyway, of course, there's a lot of differences between both of these toys. So one thing you'll notice aside is that on the Classics Megatron, it has a lot of green and a lot of purple and a lot of orange. Well, the orange is, of course, mainly on the gun mode, of course. You'll notice as well on, of course, the Classics Megatron is that there's purple on the handle and there's purple on here, and of course these handles, well, this one here, these two are going to become the legs. Purple at the front, and of course it has an orange stopper, because at the time when Megatron, the original G1 Megatron was getting reissued, Hasbro thought it would be okay to put orange stoppers on all the toys that were being reissued of Megatron and make it safe for children to play, because the parents don't want them thinking that they're actual guns, and thus complain from a lot of the parents. So aside from that, yes, this toy is really nice. It's quite wide on the sides and very thin on the front, so that's really nice as well. Also, you look at the gold right there in the front. That is a really nice, well-detailed toy as well. I'm really impressed with this. And the scope itself, the scope lens, if you can see it, is a sort of green, if you can see it clear or not. Still really impressive. And the same on the front, with the little dart thing at the front. And on the end of the scope it's quite orange. It's a little bit faded, but it's still good. So that's that. And the differences on the Henkei on the Henkei mold is the same toy, different colors. Now the Henkei version itself is mainly this version of the toy is taking a much more closer look at how Megatron looked in G1, because of course Megatron was a silver color, and of course this toy has a lot of red, whereas this one had a lot of purple, this one has a lot of red. Now, you'll notice a little bit of red on in between the handle, where these are going to become the legs. Red on the back, and red on the scope, right there. And red on the front, and red. Oh, it's all red. It's all red mainly, but it's really nice. I'm really impressed with it. So it's quite wide, thin at the front, and of course it has a black stopper at the front. So this one's not afraid to be a gun, even if parents complain. It's still a gun, whichever way you look at it. And another thing as well, both toys will fit in each hand, so let's try it with this one. And another thing as well is that it has a movable trigger, which, if you click it constantly, it activates the clicking sound, which is normally the sound you'd get from a lighter, but it's still good. And, of course, on the scope, it's red. So you can see a little bit of everything in a red lighting. And on the side, one thing on the scope as well. On the scope, you'll get you'll get the Decepticon logo. On the Classics one, it's just purple paint. On this one, it's more shinier and much more brighter. But it works so well. And of course, on the front of the scope, it's a grey look. So it's grey. That is really nice. So two really fantastic toys in two fantastic alt modes. Now to transform these two. So what I'm going to attempt to do, since these are both the same toy, and I would spend forever trying to record this all on camera and get the transformation all together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward through the transformation and just basically speed it up a little bit so we can get onto the robot modes. So stay tuned. Now that I've transformed both of these toys, we're going to take a look at them from both sides, the Henkei and the Classics Megatron. Let's take a closer look at the Megatron first of all. Here is his robot mode. He is really nicely designed and impressively painted, and just a really impressive design for this one toy. The face sculpt as well. It's the same sculpt used. Basically, it's taking the same homage from the original G1 Megatron, but just given a different head. If you can see a little bit in the face as well, the face is very well sculpted, and of course, the toy itself has really impressive light piping. Hang on, let me just show you at the back. There we go. Really nice light piping. And another thing as well, since I got the camera a little bit too close, there we go. That's better. The head, of course, can rotate the full 360, very roughly though. And of course, the joints as well. The joints are, as we're going to see right now, ratcheted. So ratcheted clicking joints. The arms can rotate the full 360, which is really nice and very loud. You hear that noise? That's the sound of a healthy Transformer toy making those noises. Same with this one. It's like a dance club, only with clicking noises. So, aside from that though, yes, this toy itself is pretty impressive. Only downside I can really think of is that a lot of people often say that this is a shell former. Is that, of course, this toy has these huge, big shell parts, which are mainly the parts to help make the gun itself. Just pushing the pieces back in. Oh, there you go. And, of course, a lot of people have said these are like big, huge, green butterfly wings, when at the same time, one of the reasons why that this toy is kind of a little bit of a standout is that the color scheme on it is very camp. I've always said about this toy is that the purple and the green and a little bit of the orange is so camp for this toy. I love this toy a lot, but at the same time, the color scheme is a little bit camp, but still impressive. So let's try and get this guy in a decent looking pose to try and make him stand out a little bit more. There's nothing really you can do with this, these parts, except since they're mainly just a huge stick out for the back. You can have them like that. At the same time, that takes away too much balance. Adds a little bit too much weight. So the knees, they're so nice. I really like them. There we go. Try and get them in a decent looking pose. There we are. So that's that out of the way. And of course the Henkei Megatron is the exact same toy, only with a little bit of a difference. Is that, okay, the head sculpt as well. Red eyes. Red eyes, that is exactly what a Decepticon toy needs. And another thing as well is that both toys are, both the molds themselves have this sort of big eyebrow at the front, which curves right down to the nose. but still it's a very well sculpted head. Awesome light piping, really impressive. And of course, like the Classics Megatron, the head can... Hang on, let me just put the camera down. There you go. The head, of course, can rotate the full 360. And another thing as well, you look at the Decepticon symbol right there. The same on that one is that there's a little bit of a difference. The Decepticon symbol on there is much more... It's much darker than on the Classics. And of course, the chest is chrome. So, chrome silver, really impressive. And a lot of red on this robot mode. A lot of red and a lot of silver. But still, that doesn't stop this toy from being really awesome. It's a really, really good toy. Still suffers from the same butterfly wing nonsense. But, oh well, what can you do? And of course, same with the Classics Megatron. Oh, ratcheted arms and knees. The arms will rotate very nicely. And the same with the legs. They're so nice. So... yes, Classics and Henkei Megatron. Two really fantastic, really impressive, well designed, just over the top, just fantastic toys. I am really impressed with these. So, that is that. Let me just try and get this guy to stand up properly to end this out. No? Don't want to stand? Okay. But... well detailed as well. Both of these toys are well detailed. I'm very impressed with that. Oh, don't understand? Okay, fine. But yes, anyway, Classics and Henkei Megatron. I really like these toys. If you can't get one of these, at least get the other. I would definitely recommend the Henkei version for a lot of reasons. Very similar to the G1 Megatron in its color scheme and its design. Just impressive in a lot of ways, well detailed, and it's, again, both of these toys have ratcheted joints. Every toy needs that. Every toy in Transformers needs ratcheted joints because it shows that they're healthy and it shows that they still work. But of course, with that aside, with that being one of the good things about the toys in general, is that the Classics and Generations and whatever line these apart from have never disappointed us, and I don't think they ever will. So that's all I can say about that. So anyway, yes, this has been Classics and Henkei Megatron, both these impressive toys. Get them both, or get one, depending on whichever you want. And I am Skulkin140. And of course, like always, folks, thanks for watching. Catch you later. See you soon.